Will the defendant please stand? Kempton Bunton, you were charged that on the 21st of March 1961, you stole from the National Gallery a priceless portrait of the Duke of Wellington by Francisco José de Goya.
I'm shaken.
It's the shock.
Shock, yes, I'm shocked. There's a stolen masterpiece in my wardrobe.
What's he actually asking for? £140,000. For what? Charity. Good grief.
Hey, hi, Andrew Corpin, Coastal House Media. All right, well, Jim, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's an honor. It's funny, the first memory I have of seeing you in a movie was the fourth Indiana Jones movie. So
All right.
before I get into the Duke, I just wanted to ask, are you in the fifth one?
No, has it been made and completed?
I believe so. I think it recently wrapped.
No, I'm not in it. No.
Okay, just thought I'd ask. Well, congratulations on the Duke. You're great in the film. The film is great. And I wanted to ask you, what drew you to this project? Was it the subject matter, perhaps working with Helen Mirren, who I also want to talk about in a second?
Yeah, no, it's the script, and the script as it arrived, and it was a wonderful part in a wonderful script. It's simple as that. And then with Roger Michel, who I knew directing it, is absolute no-brainer. It was really easy, and I mean, 2 pages in, I knew I wanted to play the part, and it came with such a good pedigree. The writers and Richard Bean and Clive Coleman were great people anyway, so I knew that it was going to be great and good.
And are there any challenges because the film is a historical drama, so it's based on you're playing an actual person and it's based on true events? Are there any challenges that come with that?
Not really. I mean, it's a bonus when you get a real person based on a real person, particularly when the whole idea of making it a film was presented by the family, so you're not sort of under the impression that you're taking risk, you might offend anyone. They wanted the film to be made, and the story, they presented the story, and then it was given to the writers to write a film script. So, but there was so much detail that the writers could then investigate in finding out who the real people were, that it made for a very much a richer script than might otherwise have been the case. And it was such an extraordinary story that if you presented it as a piece of fiction, no one would have believed it or no one would have bought it, But because it was real, it made it a more interesting and exciting story than it might otherwise have been.
And I hate to bring up the pandemic, but when was this film shot? Like, were you guys impacted by that at all?
Not at all. No, we finished maybe a week or 2 weeks before the pandemic really hit, before the first lockdown in the UK. So we got it in without any constrictions at all by COVID. So, but then the release was delayed enormously, obviously because of COVID, which is but it's getting out there now. So it's 2.5 years later, I suppose.
You get to share the screen with the Helen Mirren, the legend, in the film.
Right.
What was it like to work with her? And was there anything that you guys are both seasoned actors? Was there anything you picked up on from her, and vice versa, maybe?
We worked in a very similar way. I think we just get on with it and have a laugh and be open to each other. We both totally respected our wonderful director, Roger Michel, and the whole process was easy and natural, and it flowed completely. I mean, and I loved working with her, and her sort of innate intelligence and strength and wisdom just comes through in everything she does, and it was a real privilege to work with her. And she had long said that she had sworn she'd never play a long-suffering wife, and here she is playing the longest-suffering wife ever, probably. But she brings with it such a wit and such a smart approach that it was a real joy to see her playing this character, unlike any she's ever played before, I think. And the same with me. playing a character I've never played before, which is always appealing.
Yeah, and by the character you've never played before, do you mean the type of person or the actual person that you were playing?
The type of person, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
That sort of Kempton Bunton is a character that is, I don't remember him being on any screen before, really, with anyone else playing. I mean, he's a wonderful sort of strange Robin Hood figure, but, but it was a joy.
Yeah. And so, are there any? I know it was a couple of years ago since you guys have wrapped, but were there any, fond memories you have from the set or from the shoot, I should say?
It was they're all fond memories, really. It was the happiest film I've ever done. I don't remember any moment of stress or anxiety or argument or doubt at all. Roger Michel was a marvelous director who you never felt was directing you. It was everything happened naturally, or by osmosis almost. It was a most unique experience, and I can't remember any particular jokes or events that tickle me, but Roger was constantly surprising you with like little things in the script. Like I was working in a bakery, you think, all right, he's working in a bakery, he'll go and there'll be 3 people getting stuff out of the ovens. You go onto the set and there's about 10 conveyor belts crammed with loaves of bread screaming by, and you think this is the imagination of a director, just thinking there isn't a limit here, we can actually do all sorts of things. And there were loads of moments like that. Suddenly you come out of a shop and 40 people go past on bicycles, that unheard of, and there's no reason, not commented on, not there for any particular reason other than to say this is what happened in those days. People didn't have cars and motorbikes, they were on bicycles. I don't think it's in the script, but Roger had thought, yeah, we'll have 40 people knocking off work, they're all going home on bicycles, which reminded me of exactly how it was when I was growing up, and back in the 50s, that suddenly you'd see at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, everyone on roads of people on bicycles. And they're just little details of that Roger brought into the story, which out of his imagination.
And so when the film opens, later this month, is there anything that you hope that people take away from the film or maybe learn about the actual story?
I hope they'll take away the sort of message of the film is that we're all in this together. Let's support each other. Let's love each other, and let's let's share the world fairly, and that's quite a strong message in the film, and I hope it comes across, and we can come out feeling better about ourselves and about our fellow man and woman.
Do you have any projects upcoming that I can look forward to seeing you in?
I did a film which is yet to be completed, and it's in post, yet to be seen, called The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. I don't know when that'll be coming out, sometime later in the year or next year, I suppose. But, that's about a man walking the length of England from the south to the north, on a strange pilgrimage.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing you in that. Thank you so much for all of your time, and congratulations again on the film.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will the defendant please stand? Kempton Bunton, you were charged that on the 21st of March 1961, you stole from the National Gallery a priceless portrait of the Duke of Wellington by Francisco José de Goya.
Not very good, is it?
We're convinced that the Goya has been stolen by a highly professional international criminal gang.
Mind your bloomers!
Almost certainly a trained commando.
You all right? Bit of biscuit. One problem.
What's that?
Your mother. I can explain.
I'm shaken.
It's the shock.
Shock, yes, I'm shocked. There's a stolen masterpiece in my wardrobe.
What's he actually asking for?
£140,000.
For what?
Charity.
Good grief.
I'm living with a madman.
I'm tackling social injustice. I'm like Robin Hood.
You're an idiot.
The taxpayer paid for that painting. They could have given thousands to war widows and pensioners. It's for the greater good of mankind.
Mankind? What about your own kind? How long will you get?
I don't know. 10 years.
You could have told me. We could have dealt with it together.
You married young.
I had to marry.
I had to marry.
It was love.
He is not a thief. He borrowed your Goya to do a bit of good in this world. You campaign for pensioners and war veterans.
Every time someone gets cut off from the rest of us, this country comes a foot shorter. All my life I've looked out for other people and got into trouble for it. But I had faith. Not in God, but in people.
How do you plead?
Not guilty.
For those unfamiliar with court proceedings, that was the plea, not the verdict.